Hi, and welcome to Fight Me Nerd, a show about all our favorite things from all kinds of media. Hope you enjoy. So, if Helper and Roberto from Futurama got in a knife fight, who would win?
Helper.
Oh?
Helper's been in more fights. He's also been a robotic eye. No, a walking eye.
Okay, if it's the walking eye Helper, that would win. But in general, yeah, Helper's been in fights, but it generally doesn't come out okay. Helper dies a lot.
But that's the thing, is he keeps coming. How many times does Roberto come back?
Like 3 or 4?
Oh, you got me there.
Like, he's appeared in at least 3 episodes of the main show and the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
But does he blow up every time?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can he take a punch and keep coming?
He doesn't keep coming. He gets repaired.
Fair enough.
So, as whoever's listening to this may have gathered, we're talking about robots this episode. And somebody wanted to talk about Helper.
I did want to talk about Helper.
Okay, and who are you?
I am me.
Yes, please say the name for the audience.
Hello,
Thank
my
you.
name is Danny.
Yes.
And I've been a...
Go ahead. No, finish.
What?
Whatever else you were going to say.
That is my name. And that is what they can call me.
Okay.
And I'm here to talk about robots.
Yes, Morgan and Harley are also here. Say hi, dear.
Hi.
There we go. Alright. So talk Helper a boot.
Well, let's see. Helper is a character on the show Venture Brothers, of which I actually just had a recent season that was really good.
Oh.
And how spoilerific are you guys?
Oh, maliciously.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but
Yeah,
they
no,
did
that's
reveal
fine.
a lot about Helper's backstory.
Spoil
in the
as
new
much as
season.
you're comfortable with.
I'm not very,
That's fine.
because if you wait 2 years for a new season every time for Venture Brothers, you don't really want it spoiled.
I understand.
But you actually get a lot of Helper backstory, and you find out he's not. Well, I'll say that he's not the only one, and there are more sentient versions of him.
No, I'm not the only one. Something like that. I don't know. Yep.
Something like ones that can talk.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
And he is the faithful. I guess he's the robot butler
Robotler.
of the robot butler. Ooh, I want a robot butler now. He can also be a drum machine and a walking eye.
Drum machine, a walking eye.
He had a helicopter for a head at one point.
He did. He also went rogue at one point.
Wait, no, wasn't that the bodyguard one? There was Gardo,
Oh, okay.
and Helper defeated Gardo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, Venture Brothers
Which
is
is
a little
why
hazy.
he
It's
can
been a
win
while for me.
fights.
Alright, anyway, so after Helper, we also brought up Roberto, I think is his name, not Roboto. Roberto from Futurama, who needs to practice his stabbing.
Roboto is from a Styx song.
Yes, but Roberto is from Futurama,
True.
and he needs to practice his stabbing.
And he goes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of robots in Futurama. Some of my favorites include Hedonism Bot.
Isn't he the
He's
the
the-
Roman emperor?
Yeah,
He doesn't like have legs. Like his legs is his
is his
bed.
chair, yes. He's divine. Yeah, no, he's the Caligula analog. He has butlers and is like, release the gravy and shit like that.
Oh.
So yeah, he's a lot of fun. Oh, how deliciously absurd.
Yes, he is a ridiculous character.
Mhm. Yeah. And then of course there's the Clamps and the Robot Mafia Dawn bot.
Who's just a mafia boss
Yes.
stereotype. But a robot.
Please search your mercy directory for file not found. So good. Yeah. So you want to bring something up there?
Well, while we were talking about robot butlers, there is Mr. Butlertron from Clone High.
From Clone High. What the hell is that?
So
Wait, you've never seen Clone High?
No.
Right, you go ahead. I've seen it. It's good stuff.
It probably hasn't aged well, but I remember it very fondly. It's an old cartoon that used to play on MTV and Late Night Adult Swim about a bunch of clones of various historical figures. The main characters are Abraham Lincoln, Joan of Arc, Gandhi, Cleopatra, and JFK. And they're now in high school, and it's a high school drama with historical figures and an insane scientist principal who has a robot butler who calls everyone Wesley and is probably much better at being a principal than Scudsworth.
Who I'm assuming is the name of the principal.
Yes. He gives the students pretty solid advice.
Okay, that's interesting.
Does Butlertron save them when they get addicted to raisins?
What?
So, every episode is a very special episode.
Mm-hmm.
But they go through all like the cliches of what do you call it? High school dramas.
Right.
And one of the drug episode, they get addicted to raisins.
Okay.
I'm forgetting if
That's-
Butlertron gets addicted or if he helps them.
That's pretty good, though. Like, anyway.
And it is Jack Black that gets them addicted to raisins.
Jack Black gets clones of historical figures addicted to... Okay, whatever.
Which is
I buy it.
Yeah.
a horrible scheme from the raisin lobby because raisin sales were waning.
Hey, darling.
Yeah?
If Matt were here, what would he say? 'Cause why not?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I'd buy it.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh, he's a parody of Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so before we leave Futurama completely in the dust, we should probably bring up the principal robot from Futurama, Bender. What's his full
Oh,
name
I thought
again?
it was...
Bender Rodriguez?
Well, Bender Bending Rodriguez. That's his full name. There we go. Bender B.
There you go.
Rodriguez, voiced by one of the most illustrious voice actors whose name escapes me, John DiMaggio.
Joe
whatever.
DiMaggio.
So John DiMaggio voices Bender, one of the main characters of Futurama, whose thing is basically, if it's a vice, the answer is yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It's hard to describe. Like, it's hard to
Is he powered by it? Like, he's powered by
He's powered
beer,
by
right?
alcohol, yeah.
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 But all
Wow,
robots
what a
are.
way to live.
But yeah,
But like, he doesn't get drunk, right? He just
no,
is a walking
he doesn't
addiction.
get drunk, but he can get high off electricity.
Oh yeah, that's right.
hmm
They have like the stupid electrostatic orb, and they use it like a hookah or whatever.
Yeah. Now, and Danny, as you probably know, the writers of Futurama are big-time nerds. I don't know if you knew that.
I mean, they wrote a science fiction cartoon.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they literally have PhDs.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, so do you remember the episode where Bender inherits a haunted house?
No, enlighten me.
So in one of the episodes, Bender inherits a haunted house, and there's like some binary written in blood appears on the mirror, and he's like, oh, that's nothing, and then it flips it over in the mirror, and he runs away screaming. If you look up what that binary is, it's the number 666. It's just, it's like,
Oh, it's 666.
it's so fucking, it's dumb,
Well,
nerdy
well,
nonsense.
backwards it would have been. Oh no, but binary.
Yeah,
It doesn't work backwards like that.
no, I don't. But yeah, so,
I was gonna say, is it gonna be murder? They do a shining.
no, that would be a lot of fucking binary.
I don't know binary very well. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's alright. Neither do I. But yeah, so like that doesn't say much about Bender's character, but there's not a lot you can say about.
He's scared of 666.
Yeah, like
He is very fond of turtles.
He got turned into a car once.
oh yeah, the were car. That's actually the same episode.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's the
I do like
episode
that
where he
he's
gets
fond
turned
of
into a car. Yeah, yeah. His Wikipedia page says described by fellow character Leela as an alcoholic, whoremongering, chain-smoking gambler.
Oh,
That's about right.
That's about it. Like, he's gonna make his own amusement park with blackjack and hookers. Yeah, there's
without
not a lot you can say about Bender
park.
without just relentlessly quoting Bender.
he's got a lot of Benderisms.
Also,
He's quoted a lot.
Robot House!
Well, those are all robots.
Those are all robots, yes.
You had fat nerd robot
Mhm.
and
Skinny nerd robot.
small, skinny nerd robot.
hmm
I think one of them had like LED pimples.
Yes.
Classic robot humor.
Classic. Yeah. Futurama's fucking great. But we should
What?
probably move on.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we should probably move on, but if you have another robot from Futurama you want to bring up, go for it.
No, I was gonna say since you brought up John DiMaggio, it reminded me of Jake the dog, because he also does that. Jake the dog isn't a robot.
No, but BMO is.
But BMO sure is. I had a sweet little segue and everything. I was all slick. That wasn't slick.
Nope.
Plus, you beat me to it.
Yeah. If your Segway had like bike tires, I just stuck a stick through one of them and just shit.
Oh, if anything, it had training wheels and you just ripped one off.
Anywho.
But yes.
Tell of BMO.
BMO is from the cartoon Adventure Time?
Adventure Time.
Come on.
No, I used to watch it all the time in substances. Anyway, so it probably explains a lot, actually. BMO is he's basically a sentient Game Boy,
Mm-hmm.
and he is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, wait, he's not a he? He is genderless, right? I think they made a point to point that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Because BMO uses different pronouns to refer to themselves at different times depending on the context.
Mm-hmm.
So his gender is plot.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That works.
Mm-hmm. Yes. BMO gets up to all kinds of shenanigans, like trying to eat by smearing food on their screen.
Yeah, he tries to be human a lot, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least alive.
Yes.
Because they have the one... He dresses up like... But, well, that's why it's confusing. He's dressed up like a little girl one time, too.
Mm-hmm.
But then they call him a boy. Oh, yeah. Gender of plot. Anyway. But he's hilarious, and he, well, they get sucked into him at one point.
Yeah.
He
They
has a
do
little
the
virtual world in him.
Bidgy Game episode.
And there's a colony of them.
Yep.
I remember that.
They're the
They get-
Moes.
Are they all Moes?
They're all
Mhm.
Moes.
So is there like Gmo?
Mm-hmm.
Demo?
Probably.
Wait, does that mean there's MMO?
I don't know. But yeah,
There's probably a
Mo
lot
is the name of BMO's creator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because they fix him.
Yeah.
'Cause he was like dying or something.
'Cause he
But
was
he's like a
dying,
little
so
kid. He runs around and he just does
Gets up to shenanigans.
he
Dances
gets
around.
little kid shenanigan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were made to be a companion for Mo's son, right?
I think just BMO was. I think they all had purposes, and that was
Mhm.
BMO's.
Mm-hmm.
Or was BMO the son? I forget.
Yeah, so here's what it says on the Wikipedia. He created BMO because he wanted BMO to take care of his son, but he never ended up dating any women, so he never had a son. So unlike any number of artificially created characters in the series, like Lemongrab or Goliad, BMO is shown to be on good terms with their creator. The two embraced shortly after Mo fixed BMO's operating system. So there we are.
There you go.
That's a BMO. I don't think
He
there's
also
any other like explicit robots in Adventure Time.
Well, there's Nepter, the never-ending pie-throwing robot.
Oh,
Voiced by Andy Milonakis.
I didn't know either of those things.
Yep.
You didn't need to know either of those things.
Finn,
But I do like Nepter.
Finn builds
He comes
Nep-
back. Go ahead.
Sorry. Finn builds Nepter in order to throw infinite pies at Jake because they are in a prank war.
Mm.
Eventually, I forget, how does Nepter end up hooking up with Ice King?
He gets ditched. Like, they get sick of the pie throwing, and so... Oh, no. He took him over to the Ice King's palace to charge him up. That's how he got him brought to life, like Frankenstein.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. Whatever.
It's a lame.
And then from there, I think he thinks Ice King's as his father because of the lightning,
Yep.
not Finn.
Mm.
Yeah, he calls him Poppy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's tons of other characters in Adventure Time that we're going to discuss eventually in different episodes. I'm looking at you, Magic Man.
Magic Man.
Yeah. But anyway, we can
He's
move
not a
on once
robot.
again and crash the Segway directly into a wall. Talk about...
Well, not at all. You say Crash?
Oh?
I got one.
Oh,
From
yeah.
Crash.
Sorry, who?
From Dr. N. Jin.
Engine.
They like-
Oh, okay.
They like name puns.
Yeah.
I mean, he counts, right? He's got a missile in his head and a half a robot face.
Well, yeah, he totally counts. I mean, Entropy would probably count too, because he's like got clocks in his body.
Oh, I forgot about Entropy. Man, there's a lot of N. pun names in that series.
Yeah, it's almost like they were going for a theme or something.
Touche.
Alright.
Actually, wait, does Entropy count?
Yeah.
He's like a genie. He's like a time genie.
Well, he's got... All I can say is he's got clocks in him, and clocks have gears, so robot.
Are clocks robots?
Yes.
These are the philosophical questions.
Yes. I should probably let my girlfriend start talking about Fallout.
Are there robots in Fallout?
There are so many robots.
Can I tell you something?
She's listed like 7 here.
That's... Well, I guess if you count all of the think tanks individually. But...
Go ahead, dear. No.
Okay.
Have at it.
So the think tanks are your main NPCs in the Fallout New Vegas DLC, Old World Blues. They are basically brains in a bunch of biofluid with robot parts to let them communicate with the world. They're a bunch of Old World scientists. They were put together in the place where they exist to be a think tank, and it survived the nuclear apocalypse, so they're still hanging out, and they're all insane. They kidnap you and take out your brain and heart and spine, but for reasons you survive and can still think clearly. And so you do a bunch of favors for them, you discover what they've been doing, and you find out why they are the way they are, and you do what you need to do to prevent them from realizing the rest of the world exists, because if they realize that the rest of the world exists, they will go and experiment on it, and it will be bad. And you find out that a lot of the horribly mutated creatures that you run into are from their experiments. In particular, Night Stalkers, which is a hybrid of a coyote and a rattlesnake. And...
Bad times.
Yeah. Cazadors, which are giant, vicious wasp things. I forget what type of bug they're actually based on.
Big, stingy, ouch.
Yeah. They are a hot mess. They're also hilarious. One of them has the same voice as Dr. Venture from the Venture Brothers.
Oh, that's
which
funny.
Is great.
He's just a crazy brain in a jar, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
much.
a bunch of brains in crazy jars. Looking at the picture here, they also have screens, and each of the screens is a different part of a face, like one for each eye and a mouth.
So they're like the Voltron of faces?
Voltron of faces. The many become one, right? Well, no, it's one individual, and then, like, that individual has a screen for each eye and a mouth. And I guess it's just to animate them
so
talking.
it's multiple screens for one person. Oh,
yeah.
I don't have the picture in front of me.
It's alright.
Alright, also from New Vegas, there is Rex, the cyber dog, which is a cyborg
Also has a brain in a jar.
German Shepherd. Yes, his brain is in a jar. He belongs to the king, who's the leader of a gang called the Kings. And if you do the right things for him, you can take Rex with you as a companion. You also take him with you because Rex is very, very sick, and they don't know how to help him. But they think there's a scientist living up in the mutant village in the mountains that might be able to help him. And so you get to go on a quest to save him. He hates people with hats.
Why?
Well, he hates rats. The
Okay.
king thinks that he hates people wearing hats because hats rhymes with rats.
Oh.
And so when you try to talk to him if you're wearing a hat, he just growls at you.
Perhaps he thinks there's a rat under the hat.
Maybe.
He's also a dog, and
Yes.
dogs hate weird things for weird reasons.
Yes.
Yes.
I had met a dog he gets upset every time you touch your curtain string. He will stop whatever he is doing and attack it.
How
He is
dare!
unfortunately not a robot.
Yep.
So,
Alright. No, there's
Are
still
there more
more.
robots?
There's still more Fallout robots.
There are so many, but the last one I'm going to annoy y'all with is Nick Valentine from Fallout 4. He is a prototype synth, so he's kind of halfway between the really obvious synths that you sometimes have to fight and the indistinguishable from a human synths that you're trying to seek out.
Which really forces him into that first category.
I mean, he looks and acts considerably more human than the original synths.
Yeah, certainly, but also is definitely not human.
Yeah.
Any weasel.
And he has the memories of a cop from the old world.
So he's RoboCop.
He's a private eye.
Yeah. He's currently working as a private eye. He is very, 20s noir silliness.
Mm-hmm.
And you can help him resolve some bad shit happened to the cop before the war, and you can help him resolve that and come to terms with sort of separating out his identity from this other person and accepting the degree to which the original Nick Valentine is part of him, but that he is more than that.
Indeedly
and
so.
It's really sweet and emotional, and he's great.
So he's like a morally ambiguous character? He's not bad.
He is very good.
Yeah, the thing about Fallout is most of the characters are morally ambiguous because each of them has, a thing they like and a thing they hate. And it's like rock, paper, scissors of the, general, groups that you can interact with. Like, this group hates these but likes these. This group hates that group but likes this other group, etc., etc., etc.
But I mean, there's definitely still an element of morality. There's a karma system, although it is less and less important as you go through the different games. Nick Valentine is pretty good. He likes it when you help people. And
I'd say that's a pretty good guy.
Yep.
There are other characters that hate it when you help people, so...
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I would argue those are bad guys.
Indeed. But, as several RoboCops are going to be discussed in this episode, we should probably talk about RoboCop. Danny,
Robo-Jesus?
Speak of Robo-Jesus to me.
RoboCop is literally an allegory for Jesus in Detroit.
I mean...
dystopian Detroit.
Yes, in dystopian Detroit... Detroit, yes. It is destroyed. But...
Destroyed.
Yes. In dystopian Detroit, we have...
So Detroit.
We have Robo-Jesus in the form of a cop. I mean, it's super blatant, risen...
He also... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to just mention, he gets shotgun stigmata, and...
Yeah, he does.
Rises from the dead after a certain period of time. Waka waka.
Doesn't he also get his eyes, brain, and spine removed? I immediately thought of RoboCop when you mentioned that.
No, he he has his eyes. It's a mask. I mean, he might have
No. I think it's in one of the not RoboCop ones, so I try not to think about it whenever possible, but there is a scene where there's a brain, eyes, and spine in a vat.
Mm.
And I can't remember if that's RoboCop or somebody else that's to become a RoboCop.
Yes.
And he also fights... Oh, shit. What are the walking... The Eddie?
Ed 209. Yes.
Yeah.
Which are walkers a la Metal Gear Rexes.
Also hilarious and fall downstairs.
Yes. And stop motion animated, so they're kind of clunky.
That did not hold up.
No.
Is he... I gotta confess, I didn't see the remake because I feel like that is a... just dragging a dead corpse out for show.
Yes.
So he has a human hand, which is why. So, is Ed 209 in that? Do you guys know?
No, nobody saw that movie.
Somebody saw it.
Somebody saw it somewhere.
The editor saw it.
I sure as shit didn't.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great movie. He's just full of classic one-liners.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the parody of the scene where he attacks the sexual assaulter?
Yes.
Or the rapist,
yeah.
And he just more and more rapist comes out and he has to keep shooting them in the dick. He shoots them all in the dick. I have very high taste of humor.
Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot you can say about RoboCop that hasn't been said before by every movie critic ever born.
Yeah. Well, it's a classic. The original is a very good movie.
It is. Yeah. It's very well done, very well shot, etc., etc.
I enjoyed very much. In fact, I have been having a hankering to watch it recently. In fact, pretty much around the time where you're like, hey, we're going to talk about robots.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I like that robot.
Yeah, it's a good robot.
But when you were talking about Mr. Valentine, that actually reminded me of another robot, Private Eye, which was in...
It's
Actually not.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about him too.
Yeah, we're gonna. He's on the list, but talk about your thing.
I was going to talk about X-49.
X-49. Voces das.
Which he was in one episode of Samurai Jack, which has a ton of robots.
Yes, it does.
That is another show that takes place in the future far, far away.
Another robot from that show. Sorry, another robot from that show is on this list, babe.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta talk about Scaramouche.
We will talk about Scaramouche, but X-49 actually is really cool because it's one of the few episodes where Jack wasn't the focus.
Oh.
And this was one of the last episodes before the show got put on hiatus, before they fortunately were able to bring it back and give it a proper ending.
Mm-hmm.
But the tale of X-49 is actually totally shot as a film noir-esque episode, and it's about X-49 trying to rescue his love, Tallulah, which by the end of the episode you find out is a pug.
Oh.
And so he gets hired by Jack. Oh no, that's what it is. He's a hitman that gets hired by Jack to kill him, and then that's how he'll get Tallulah back.
Ah.
And by the end of the episode, so you actually end up feeling for 49, but he does end up getting wasted by Jack.
Ah, I see.
But Lulu, no, it's Lulu, not Tallulah. I'm sorry, but Lulu does get saved.
Okay, that's good.
So that's good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, before we get into Inspector Gadget, let's just talk for a little bit about Scaramouche, babe.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe. I'm a Coos #1 assassin. I'm
heavily robot assassin
based on Sammy Davis Jr.
Is he?
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing with him saying babe all the time. It's a thing Sammy Davis Jr. did.
I mean, people just say babe all the time.
They do, but the voice as well is heavily, it's Sammy Davis Jr. He's doing an impression.
He's doing an homage.
Mm-hmm.
If Sammy Davis Jr. was a robot assassin in the future.
Yes. So his full title is Scaramouche the Merciless. And he's a magical robot assassin with musical tendencies.
He's the magical musical assassin, but
yes.
Is he magic?
It's what it says on his Wikipedia page.
I mean, he's got the sword that floats around when he plays the flute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Gosh,
so
such a great recurring
like
joke.
Second sentence on his Wikipedia page is his specialty was using his literally magical voice to battle his foes.
Oh, well,
recurring antagonist of season 5.
Oh, that's right, because he can control the sword by scatting too.
Yep. Yeah, he is in fact a scat man as well. Scaramouche is fucking great.
Scaramouche is hilarious. He's
voiced by Tom Kenny.
Yeah, and voiced by the voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny.
Yeah, he. Oh, look, it says right here he's similar to X-49.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So there, boom, references.
References.
But that was the thing about Samurai Jack that I always thought was interesting, is that you knew a character was killable if they were a robot.
Yeah.
At least in the first 4 seasons.
Uh-huh, definitely.
In the first 4 seasons when it was for kids, if you were a robot, you were good chance you were going to get wasted.
Yeah, and a lot of they were able to take the limiters off for season 5.
And then for season 5 was on Adult Swim.
Drop the waiting training gear.
Yeah, no holds barred.
Mm.
Although Scaramouche? Oh no, he does get wasted by the end.
Eventually, yeah.
But for a while, he's just a robot head, having his own adventures.
Yeah, so he has like a ton of weapons, the sword, a tuning fork that explodes things, his flute, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's good stuff.
He's good stuff. All right.
That whole show is full of robots. If anything in the future just seems to be like the go-to default is robots.
Yeah, go-to default is robots, and robots are really easy to make interesting because you can make them as humanoid as you want to and as not humanoid as you want to.
That is true.
Yeah. So, let's talk very briefly about Inspector Gadget, because while he's like iconic, and he's another one of those where it's like, what exactly can you say about Inspector Gadget? He's a bumbling man who is filled with robot tools that he never uses properly. And
is it possible that he's bumbling because... Is he an allegory for, like, puberty? Like your body changing? And he can't do anything right? Did I just crack the code?
I want to say...
Or is he just an idiot?
I want to say no, but it sounds too plausible for me to say that. But yeah, he's like... He's bumbling and he's an idiot, but his body also doesn't ever work properly. Because he says, go, Gadget boxing glove, and a fucking propeller pops out or some shit like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, is he a parody of the $1 Million Man?
No, he's a parody of. Hang on a second. I know he's kind of more a parody of RoboCop, isn't he?
Is he?
I don't know.
I mean, there's just so many robotic cops.
Yeah, RoboCop might have been like after Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget was 1983, and RoboCop was.
Survey says
1987. So definitely not a parody of RoboCop. So yeah, you're right. He's probably a direct parody of the $1 Million Man.
That would be more recent.
Mm-hmm.
Or just that thing in general.
Yeah.
Was the Claw a robot?
Dr. Claw?
Or was he just a bomb in a chair?
I don't know. Dr. Claw was never revealed. And as you say in the intro, like they turn around and because he's got the claw sitting there on the arm of the chair and they spin the chair around and it's just an arm and a bomb. So
what if he is the bomb?
He might be the bomb, but you see the cat sitting on his lap all the time, so...
Are bombs robots?
Do bombs have laps? Bomberman is a
robot.
robot.
You could build a bomb to have a lap. Is Bomberman a robot?
I think Bomberman's a robot. He was on the list of robots as far as TV tropes goes.
Bomberman. Man, I haven't played a Bomberman game in such a long time.
Yeah. Do you know what game character is most deaf a robot?
Mega Man.
Mega Man. What's
Mega
your favorite?
Man is a great game.
What's your favorite Mega Man game?
I'm a little ashamed to admit it because it's like just so easy, but it's 2. It's Mega Man 2. It's just so good.
Mm-hmm. As far as I'm way off the beaten path as far as my favorite Mega Mans go, because I really enjoyed this Mega Man strategy game for GBA and DS, which is Mega Man Battle Network and Mega Man Star Force. Those were really good games.
Did those play like the BattleNet? Oh, you said BattleNet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the BattleNets were good.
Yeah, the Battle Network games were great. They were like grid-based, and you had a deck of cards, or chips, quote-unquote, that you played and were able to use different attacks and different grid patterns and all that. They were really good. And then Mega Man Star Force, the sequel, was basically the same, except the graphics were 3D, and the grid was on the dual screen. So you could have the enemy grid on the upper screen and your grid on the bottom screen, and the view was from the back instead of the side.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so
those are your favorites of the series?
Those are my favorites. Of the classic Mega Man games, my favorite is definitely X.
I was going to say, do you like Blue Bomb or do you like X? Because those are different characters.
Yeah. See, the thing when I talk about favorites is that I've got favorites for different reasons. Like, as far as quality of game goes, X definitely wins out. As far as visual design goes, I really like the designs in ZX. But the game is not.
I don't know if I played ZX.
Yeah. Nothing to really write home about. It's a Mega Man game, but it's nothing spectacular.
Which is your guys' favorites Robot Masters?
Do you have a favorite Robot Master, dear? I can speak, I swear. I know English.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Mine is probably Boomer Quanger.
Which one?
Boomer Quanger.
Oh, right. You're doing Mega Man X where they're animals.
Yeah. Boomer Quanger.
What is a Quanger?
Yeah. He's a Kuwaga, which is the Japanese word for beetle.
Oh,
specific type
cool.
Of beetle. Yeah.
I don't know if I got to that one. Mm-hmm. I never played a lot of the X's. I know it's super popular, but I've always been more of the Blue Bomber style. Yeah. Although, I think my...
Go ahead. Yeah, we're talking over each other, sorry.
I was just going to say Surfbot.
Which one?
From the Mega Man Legends series.
Oh.
Did you guys ever play those?
You played Mega Man Legends. I've never played one. I saw the...
Legends 2 was so good.
Cool. Yeah, I think either the Grumps or the Super Best Friends play Legends 1.
1 was originally on the N64, which I didn't have as a child.
Same.
So I only got to see other people. I was always, like, watching friends play it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to play Legends 2 because it came out for the PlayStation. And it was super fun, and I got super excited to find out they were going to make Legends 3, and then they canceled it.
Ah.
That's always been a major bummer. And I doubt it'll come back because the creators left Capcom.
Yeah.
And now, after the failure of Mighty Number 9...
Have you played 11
They
yet?
released... I have.
You have?
It's fun. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's also hard.
Well, that's good.
Well, in a
Mega
good
Man
way.
games should be.
Yeah, no, it's a nice reminder of how things used to be.
Yeah, Mega Man X is also my friend Nathan's favorite title, and he's super fucking good at it, and knows how to get all the secret parts and everything so that you can do the Hadouken.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a thing.
Yep, there was a Street Fighter homage in Mega Man X where you could do the Hadouken.
But like, let's be real. How different is the Hadouken from the charged
It's a
Buster
screen clip.
Blast? Oh, okay.
I think it's an instant kill. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on that though, because I never got it.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
fair.
Mega Man X for the PSP.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I played so much Mega Man.
Mega Man.
It has really good music too,
It does.
or at least a lot of them do.
Alright, let's see. We talked about Mega Man a whole bunch. Well, we should probably get some stuff out of the way. Some honorable mentions in the middle here. Because there's some stuff that we're just not into, but we would be remiss if we didn't mention. I assume you haven't watched Star Trek The Next Generation, Danny?
I'm not a huge, I'm not big on the Trek.
So we'll...
I'm not against it. I just haven't put the time into it.
Yes, our other co-host would gut us like fish, though, if we didn't mention Data real quick here. Lieutenant Commander Data, who is an android, and is constantly trying to figure out why humans do the thing.
He has a cat named Spot. He writes poetry about it. It's great.
There you go. Yep, so that's Data's honorable mention. Danny, how are you with the Gundams?
You know what? I've only ever seen one Gundam series, and I've found out one of the least popular.
Yeah, well, one of the least
I only ever
popular...
watched G Gundam.
You only watched G Gundam, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I get a lot of flack for that.
Yeah, I mean, Mobile Fighter G Gundam is also the one I probably saw the most of, and it had Shining Finger.
Yep,
which-
my hand glows with an awesome power.
My love, my hate, and all of my sorrow. And all
Shiny
of my
finger.
angst.
Yeah, Domon Kashu had some angst issues.
Had some serious angst. I mean, it
I
had,
tried.
it had one of the coolest villains that I've seen, which is... It was called Dark Gundam in America. In Japan, it was called Devil Gundam. It was really cool, because it could, like, self-regenerate and make people zombies and propagate and be terrifying. That's about it.
That was the final big bad, right?
Yeah, that was the final big bad.
That was the one his brother had.
Mhm.
Dang.
Dang.
A lot of brothers being on the opposite sides of stuff in anime.
Yeah. So we'll do a general mention of Gundams there, because holy shit, there's a lot of them.
There's so many Gundams.
Yep. But
Also Big Zam.
yes, also Big Zam, very important Gundam,
It's not a Gundam.
very important robot
It's
thing.
a mobile fighter.
Okay. So what's the difference between a mobile fighter and a Gundam then? Because
It's not made out of Gundanium,
oh,
the
okay,
fake bullshit metal of that universe.
okay. Good.
I'd like to throw out an honorable mention for Mega's XLR.
Megas XLR,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I didn't watch
Chicks.
much of the show because I didn't really like what I saw of it,
hmm
but my god, that theme song.
Yeah,
It's so good.
yeah. No,
Chicks do dig giant robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's a goofy ass, bro ass show. I don't know how many seasons it had. There weren't a lot of them.
I think it was 2.
Yeah, I think it was stuck to 2 seasons, but it kind of made a splash when it came out. Like, a lot of people still draw a bunch of Megas XLR fan art.
Oh, I go back and watch it every once in a while. But the key with Mega XLR is you can't binge it. It's not a show you can binge, because every episode is exactly the same.
Right?
And they even get to a point where they start self-referencing it, where it's like,
I'm gonna
we do
push
the
the button.
thing, we screw up, I have this rant,
Uh-huh.
and then we fight! And
Yeah.
then they fight, and then they do that, and that's the episode.
Mhm. Yes. Alright.
Are Digimon robots? 'Cause
Some
they're
Digimon
digital
are robots.
monsters?
Well, some Digimon are robots. Otherwise, you could
Well, yeah.
define them as AI.
Are AI robots?
If the AI has the ability to move mechanical components, yes.
So the AI would be the soul of a robot?
Yeah.
Ooh, now we're getting philosophical.
All philosophical. But yes, since you brought it up, we can now hard right turn into Digimon real quick. Did you watch
Okay.
a lot of Digimon?
When I was a kid,
Of course. Did you have a favorite Digimon?
Puppetmon.
Puppetmon. Ah, that's an
Which is
interesting one.
Which is not a robot, it's a puppet.
Yes. Well, it's an animated puppet. It's a robot made of wood, maybe.
I think that's just a puppet.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Did you have a favorite Digimon, dear?
The one with the ears.
What?
Can you be more specific?
And its bottom half is tan and the top
you-
half is brown and it has really big ears.
There's two of those, actually.
It's shaped like lightning bolts. The ears.
The ears are shaped like lightning bolts.
I didn't actually watch Digimon, but I had a toy of this one.
I think you watched Pokemon, dear.
No, it's definitely a Digimon.
I mean, I'm
hold
glad.
on.
Wait, it might be Shockermon.
Shockermon? I am the hugest Digimon fanboy, and I've never heard of Shockermon.
Look, all I did was take her descriptions and type them into my computer, and that is what I got.
Patamon.
Oh, Patamon. Okay, its ears are bat wings, not lightning bolts.
Well, the crappy little toy I had, they looked
Okay.
like lightning bolts to little kid me.
Okay. So, she likes Patamon. There we go.
Which one does Patamon turn into?
Patamon turns into Angemon.
What? The heck is that?
It's an angel.
Oh, Angemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, did you think I said
some reason
Andremon?
I
Turns
I mean,
into
Andre the
a
Giant.
professional wrestler? Digimon? I'd be down.
That would become my favorite if that was.
But that would be an evolution of Leomon. But we're moving on. Yeah, Leomon was probably my favorite when I was a kid, between that and Magna Angemon. None of the ones we've mentioned are robots, but there's a ton of robots in Digimon. There's Metal Garurumon. There's...
Who is a metal werewolf.
Yes, there's Metal Greymon. You might be sensing a theme. There's War Greymon, who might be a robot. Probably not. He's wearing armor.
But
There's...
does that count?
Does armor count as being
Does
a
the
robot?
armor? Does the robotic suit count? Like a
If it-
mech suit?
Like, if it's a mech suit, yeah, but if it's, like, just...
Oh, is it? Is
Armor.
it just armor? on his
It might
body?
just be armor. I don't know. It's ambiguous at best. But there's Machine Dramon, which is a really cool one.
And has machine in the name.
Yeah. There's Hagurumon, which is just a floating gear. There's Andromon, Gardramon, etc., 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 etc. There's literally thousands of these fucking things. So yeah, that's Digimon.
So I'm gonna do a this but a that.
This dude?
This also might be more before your time. Did you guys ever watch Power Rangers?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about that turbo crap. I mean,
No,
like,
Mighty Morphin.
Mighty
Power
Morphin.
Rangers. I was explicitly not allowed to watch Power Rangers. I did anyway.
Wait. Oh shit. You might get in trouble.
Alright, do you want to talk about the Megazords or Alpha 5?
Well, I was gonna say which of the dinosaurs was your guys' favorite.
Dragonzord, man.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it, Morgan?
No.
Too boy show for you.
I had a deep-seated hatred because whenever I was playing with kids on the playground, I would have to be the Pink Ranger, and I have to go hide somewhere and wait for everyone to rescue me, and it was bullshit.
That doesn't make any sense. Kimberly is a badass. That's just your friends ragging on. That's hate.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Also, why couldn't you be the Yellow Ranger? Yellow Ranger.
You're peeking, you're cutting out.
Which is an appropriate amount of anger. I don't know, man.
But,
We were like...
Trini was a badass. I mean,
six.
R.I.P.
And
The
I didn't
actress
watch
dead,
the
unfortunately
show.
dead, but-
Mhm.
So...
Yeah, Saber-Tooth Tiger had Trini. She was the martial arts specialist. She was a badass.
Mhm.
Also, Kimberly, I'm gonna put this out there, was my first crush. And
Yeah.
she had the pterodactyl. And she came to my 7th birthday party.
Are you sure it was her?
No, I know it wasn't the actual. Just like, you know how you have people show, like kids have Iron Man show up to their birthday
Yeah, no,
party.
I know.
now?
I'm fucking with you, man. All
My
right.
mom was like, "What Power Ranger do you want to come to your birthday party?" I was like, "Pink Ranger." So there's a picture. There's like a Polaroid of me, then like 7-year-old me, just balling it with Pink Ranger,
I see.
and I love it.
Uh-huh. We should probably mention real quick Alpha 5 here, who is oh no, the
God. No, it's
Always
aye,
worried.
aye, aye.
yes, the always worried robotic assistant to Zordon. And as we mentioned in the last episode, Zordon, the man with the worst plan ever.
What was Zordon's plan?
Bring me 5 teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, but what?
That's
I
a
mean,
terrible
what's
plan.
A better plan. What's up? I mean, that's just 5 teenagers. Isn't that redundant?
Totally is. Also, how did he not grab Skull and fucking Bulk? Like, they have way more attitude than any of the other ones.
But do they have batitude?
Alright.
They never called it batitude.
I set a layup for a segue. Speaking of worried androids, Morgan!
Marvin, the paranoid android from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, who is a sad, cynical robot, voiced by, I believe, Alan Rickman in the movie.
Yeah, that is true.
Which is excellent. And, you know, he's just a wonderful little storm cloud. It's been a hot minute since I've read the books, so I don't know how much more I can say.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about him. Like, that's not just, you know, quoting him.
Is he not big in the books? I haven't read the book since I was like 10, but I remember hearing the movie wasn't super accurate to the book.
It was not. I've seen them, and I've read most of the books.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, he's there in the books. I don't think he was particularly more involved in the movie than he was in the books, although it's been a while since I've seen the movie or read them.
Yeah. But he definitely deserves a mention.
Yes, because he is great.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate with someone that's just always like, ooh.
Yes. Alright. More robots then. How about the Iron Giant?
That's a good one.
That's a good robot.
That's a good robot.
This might be the best
robot. I don't know about the best robot.
Come on. Did you cry at the end of that movie?
Probably.
Yeah. No, Iron Giant is a 1999 American animated science fiction film set in, you know, it's that whole old-timey, it came from outer space type thing. But,
well, it did come from outer space.
It did, but I mean, like, it has, like, wow, I'm gonna do that sentence over again before anybody just shuttles me back to the fucking valley.
What?
I said like
Did you
4
say
times.
like?
Yeah. Anyhow.
Okay.
So it's got that feel to it. It has the real, not exactly monochrome, but old-timey poster as its advertisements and things like that. And it's definitely set a bit in the past. The book
I think it's set in... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, the book it was based on is from 1968, so...
I think it takes place in, like just beginning of, like, the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was when the Red Scare was happening and they were worried about being invaded. And I have a feeling that's when that's from.
Yeah,
because they
actually,
have nukes.
Yeah, here we go with the plot.
So it's after World War II.
Yeah, here we go with the plot, because it's shortly after the Soviet Union launches Sputnik.
Boom.
Yep. So there you go. I mean, Iron Giant...
Is he based off the Iron Man from the Black Sabbath song?
Well, the Black Sabbath song...
Because he saves the future of mankind.
The Black Sabbath song is probably based on the same thing that Iron Giant is based on, which, as I mentioned, is a 1968 novel called The Iron
that's right.
Man.
You just said it's based off a book.
Yeah. Called The Iron... But yeah, like, I'm not going to spoil the end, because I want people to cry.
Superman.
Yeah. But yes, more movie robots. They just keep coming. Wow. Anybody want to talk about WALL-E? Anybody enjoy WALL-E?
I didn't care for the film.
Didn't care for the film.
It's a little preachy for me.
Oh, a little preachy. Yeah, it definitely is that. Very well. Moving on.
It was. The design for WALL-E is good. I like him as a character. I like Eva. I think she's great.
Yeah.
Or it's great. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, the movie was... I'm not the target demographic. I'm old.
Right.
I think it would have been a perfectly good movie if they cut all of the shit with the humans at the end. Like, I don't mind that
The
part.
blob
It
people.
worked, but it would be a lot less preachy without that.
Yeah. All right.
It was just heavy-handed.
All right.
That's all it is.
Yeah. It definitely was that. I'm gonna go with a few off-the-wall picks here for another series of brief mentions. Do you want to talk about the robot from Cuphead, Dr. Kyle's robot?
No, because I haven't gotten to that boss yet.
You haven't? You bought that game 2 years ago.
Has it been 2 years? No, it's been a year.
Okay, maybe a year.
But it's one of those games I put down and I haven't quite gotten back to beating. Although I want to. I have to go. I'll have to start from the beginning again because my skills will be rusty and bad.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I don't know who that is.
Okay. Well, then I'll talk. Just
But
keep moving
ahead.
along. Keep moving right along. I'm sure all of us have watched Invader Zim.
Many times.
Many times. Just mention Gur.
Yeah.
Gur enjoys waffles, tacos, wants the floor to make him a sandwich. He's insane. He's hyperactive. He's a robot.
These are all those things.
Yes.
Did you mention he disguises himself as a dog?
Yes. He wanted to be a mongoose, but he had to be a dog. And no compromise was reached.
Just thinking about that entire show, that show is like ADD, the show.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just Gur.
It's
But-
not just Gur. It's like everything's really super fast-paced, really snappy. There are brief periods of silence during which off-color sound effect is usually played. That's pretty much it. That's the
That
show.
explains a lot about my childhood.
Yeah. Moving from Gur. Wait, are we?
I just, because it is funny, there is another anime, Penny and Stocking with Garter Belt, and they have a sidekick that looks very much like a very fucked up version of Gur's dog suit. And Jonan Vasquez literally tweeted that he was glad that Penny and Stocking had helped Gur kick heroin and gave him some work.
I see. Did not know that.
That show's funny too.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Go
Don't
ahead.
remember if it has robots.
I was trying to think of a robot in it.
It's alright. We'll move from Gur to Myrrh.
Oh, to Murs.
Yep.
Like from Magic the Gathering?
Murs are great!
Murs are great. They're my favorite tribe.
They're dudes. They got the fucking bird heads.
So,
all their art
fun
is great.
fact on that.
They're-
So you say they have bird heads, but you know that big circle isn't their eye.
Oh, it's the little thing?
Yeah, it's the little slit that's actually their eye. That big thing that I always thought was their eye that made them look like Drinky Crow
Yeah.
is actually just a hinge.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless.
They still look like birds.
Yeah, they still look like
But
birds.
that's not their eye.
Yes. So, for the 3 people who might care about Magic the Gathering lore, Myrrh are metal automatons created by Memnarch that are found all over the plane Mirrodin.
Plane.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Which is now
planet, but it's also a
Phyrexia.
plane.
It's not Mirrodin anymore.
It's not.
It
It's
got
New
taken over
Phyrexia.
by the Phyrexian. Yes, New Phyrexia.
Mhm.
And I think the mirrors got tainted with it, because
Yep.
there's like infect mirrors and blah blah blah.
Mhm. Well,
But that's an entire plane of robots, so
Mm-hmm.
or metal.
it's an entire metal plane filled with robots like Demers and biomechanical beings. It's
In fact, they even gave him some more backstory, but I don't know if anybody actually cares.
That's the thing. If anybody wants to do a lore dump for Magic the Gathering, you can lose a month in that Wikipedia page because it's 40 years of writing that never stopped.
Yeah. So pick your favorites and stick to those.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, let's take a look over. Aw. More game robots. Overwatch.
I was about to say Zenyatta.
Zenyatta is here.
He tells such great jokes.
He does. And he dreamt he was a butterfly. That's one of his voice lines.
Yeah.
Zenyatta is a Buddhist robot. Or Buddhist analog robot.
Is he Buddhist? He's not like a made-up.
I don't know if... I think
Religion for
he's
the
a
game?
made-up robot religion,
I
but...
think he's based off Buddhist monks.
Yeah.
I don't think he's Buddhist.
No, he's definitely based heavily off Buddhist monks because the orbs around his neck...
Monks. Are the Tibetan monks Buddhists?
Yes,
Okay. Hey,
So-
I'm not gonna act like I know.
it's okay. The orbs around his neck represent prayer beads. The circles on his forehead are all Buddhist symbols. I'll not go into what they represent.
Wait, is Krillin Buddhist?
Yes, Krillin is a Buddhist.
Wow.
Yes. You should watch Dragon Ball.
I've seen some of it.
Alright.
But we're losing focus here. Let's
Yes.
go back to these robots.
Yeah. So we can talk about Zenyatta. We can talk about Bastion, who has actually had his backstory filled in. A little bit, at least.
Well, his backstory was he liked a bird.
That's valid.
I mean, his backstory was he was, like, deactivated during the Omnic Uprising, and then reactivated, and then he liked a bird.
Hold on. Did Blizzard steal Android 16's story and give it to Bastion?
Maybe a little
Because I just put that together right now. I'm onto your shit, Blizzard.
Acquiring bird. Let's talk about Atlas and Peabody.
Which one?
Atlas and Peabody?
Alice and Peabody.
Atlas and Peabody.
What are Alice and Peabody?
Atlas and Peabody. Portal 2.
Oh.
Yeah. There's tons of robots to talk about in Portal. But Atlas and Peabody are the two robots you play in the two-player mode of Portal 2. And they have personality.
They are very cute and were part of my devious plan to get in your pants like 7 years ago.
And I don't need to include that in the podcast, dear. Thank you.
Why not? That's just people helping people with robots.
Yeah. Just gonna sit here for a second. Give me a sec.
Was that
You're
too
actually
much?
going to cut that out?
Oh, no, I'm probably gonna cut that out.
That's personal, but it's real.
Yeah, it's personal, but... Alright.
Do you want me to find a classier way of stating that?
So let's talk about Mechagodzilla.
Wow!
Nah, I'm leaving all that in
Mechagodzilla
now.
is a robot.
It got funny enough to where I'll leave it all in. Alright, yeah, so if we want to talk about, like, the robots in Portal, we can talk about Atlas and Peabody. The turrets are great. GLaDOS, obviously. Wheatley from the second game. Did you play the Portal game, Stanley?
I did.
You did? Did y'all enjoy
I
it?
did. They're good. I mean, one is definitely a tighter game than the second one.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you gonna do? I still enjoyed them both.
Yeah.
They're solid games. They got good humor.
Yeah, I mean...
GLaDOS is the best.
Who?
GLaDOS.
Oh, GLaDOS, yeah. Sorry. I couldn't hear you. But Cave Johnson, also the best. How dare life give me lemons? I will genetically engineer lemons to set your house on fire.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised at
How
all.
dare you give Cave Johnson lemons? Yes. Just that. No context. Yeah, I brought up Mechagodzilla. Let's talk about him real briefly. Are you into the God of Zilla?
Yeah, I'm a big I like Godzilla a lot.
Mhm. Did you watch any of the movies with Mechagodzilla in them?
I mean, it's been a really long time.
Hmm.
Mechagodzilla. I'm trying to. I can't even remember his origin, to be perfectly honest right now.
Yeah, I mean, he
So
was.
I guess I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah, I mean, he
Caught
was created to fight Godzilla. You know,
I was
appeared
gonna
in
say
the
he was weapon. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he was. The 1974 film that he appeared in is just called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which, by God, if there's brilliant marketing, it is popular main character versus mecha main character.
It's true,
Yeah.
but that was a theme for a lot of Godzilla movies' names.
Mm-hmm.
It was really just like, hey, this is the title fight for this movie.
Yeah, it's basically a title fight. That's all it is.
Yeah. I was always more of a Mothra guy.
Yeah, that's actually the first Godzilla movie I saw was Godzilla vs. Mothra.
Nice.
Mhm.
There is. I've heard there's like a list of Godzilla movies. It's like, all right, watch this one from this era, this one from this era,
And then Shin Godzilla.
and then oh god, Shin Godzilla.
Mhm.
There's no robots in Shin Godzilla.
There isn't.
I'm still trying to find a copy of that movie.
Mm.
Like I want to pay for it. Let me buy that movie.
Yeah. I have a lot of imports that I feel the same way about. Please, let me buy you. But,
Anyway.
yeah, I mean, since we're on giant monsters now, we can talk about giant robots. We can talk about Voltron, very good giant robot. We talked
Very
a little
good
bit about the Megazords already.
hmm
And we can talk about Pacific Rim.
We can.
I mean, I like the names.
I liked the first one, even though it's terrible.
It's terrible? Why is it terrible?
It's everything. It's everything it needs to be.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
it is just an over-the-top love affair for mech battle, and it's everything that a kaiju movie is, where when they don't have the giant monsters or the giant robots on screen, it is boring human-on-human dialogue that you do not care about at all.
Right.
No robots punching giant monsters.
I understand.
Also, Ron Perlman.
Yes, Ron Perlman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey.
Surprise, Ron Perlman.
Hey, there's a couple robots in another Ron Perlman movie, Hellboy, and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
That was a good one.
Yes. Hellboy.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you guys prefer Hellboy 1 or Hellboy 2?
I prefer Hellboy 1. I mean, Hellboy 2 is great, but I just prefer Hellboy 1. How about you?
I liked 2 better. I think 1 is the better movie,
Okay.
but I enjoy the story. I enjoy that trope of the returned prince and the blah.
Yeah. No, it was a good one. So the robot I should mention that I mentioned, I mean, the one for 2 is obvious. The Golden Army is an army of mechanical, indestructible robots. But in the first one, there is a cyborg Nazi. And that's all you really need to know about him.
He doesn't make it to the end.
He doesn't, no. He makes it far, but not to the end.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of cyborg Nazis.
Isn't Hitler a cyborg Nazi in Wolfenstein?
I think so, yeah. And I think also in a shitty Wonder Woman movie. I might be remembering that wrong. But
I wouldn't be surprised that Wonder Woman killed a giant Hitler Nazi robot, but also never heard of it until this moment.
Yeah. So, we briefly mentioned earlier a certain android of a certain designation number, Android 16, who enjoys birds. That's his story. Moving on.
That's all you got on Android 16?
No, he's super fucking cool, and he's gonna dunk Goku. I don't know what else we can say about him.
He's gonna dunk that.
Yeah.
Well, all I gotta say about Android 16 is, so you recently showed me the abridged series of Dragon Ball Z, and the Cell Saga was actually the saga I saw the least of when I was watching the non-abridged version of the show. And I thought it was ridiculous how they were handling in 16. I was like, oh, he's like kind of a dumb idiot going around looking at birds.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched the Cell Saga.
And he's just a guy who runs around looking at birds.
You were not wrong.
Yeah. So, Android 16 is integral to the plot of Dragon Ball Z because his severed head has a conversation with Gohan that lets Gohan draw enough power to kill Cell.
We'll just get angry enough.
Yeah. But, he's better in the abridged series.
Because Teen Gohan is angst.
Yes. Teen Gohan is made of angst. He is powered by angst. That's pretty much it.
Teens are.
Those teens aren't powered by angst. They are angst.
The angst of the 90s lives on in Gohan.
Yes. So let's talk about a slightly less angsty robot from the same series.
Mecha Frieza. Oh.
No, not Mecha Frieza.
I guess that would
Arale
be the same
Norimaki.
amount of angst.
Yeah. So Arale Norimaki is originally from Akira Toriyama's sort of first foray into anime, Dr. Slump. But she makes several appearances in both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super. None in Z. But she comes back in Super and is apparently just the strongest because she's a gag character.
I was gonna say I haven't seen enough Dragon Ball to. I didn't realize Arale was in it. I was about to go what? But I have seen the one episode Arale's in Super, and it is hilarious.
Yes, because she kicks everyone's ass.
She whoops everyone's ass until Vegeta realizes that he is using serious fighting anime style, and he also needs to use gag anime style, and does like a hey look over there and like punches her head off around the planet or something. It is wonderful.
Yeah. So Dr. Slump was a comedy, just like the original Dragon Ball was way more of a comedy than Dragon Ball Z. And you can totally see the evolution of his, style up into Dragon Ball Z if you watch Dr. Slump, then Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z. But Arale is fucking great. She's nonsense incarnate.
I believe that.
Yeah. Alright, shifting over to some more animators. Was anybody here really into Gurren Lagann, I should ask, before I move on to my next thing?
I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I don't like saying stuff is my spirit animal, but that show, I very much got a lot in common with that show.
Yeah. Okay.
It is about going over the top and breaking through limits.
And drills piercing the heavens.
Way more intense Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And I love every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the one episode. Where the best
Except for the one episode.
Well, I don't want to spoil it.
I understand.
A character dies.
I know.
It makes
I
me
know
sad.
the dog boat. A boot. But yeah, so since I really don't know a whole lot about Gurren Lagann, and that's I think all you want to really let on about it.
What? Did you watch it, Morgan?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't
You've heard of
seen
it?
Is big mechas fighting against animal people? Also in big mechas.
Oh, I couldn't describe it without sounding like an insane person.
Yes.
Just go with, it's all about breaking your limits and you will be the drill that pierces the heaven. It's all about drilling. Like, the show starts with him drilling with like a little through the ground because of the humans have been forced underground in the post-apocalypse, and he eventually, in the first episode, he breaks out and he finds looking for his dad, and then he finds a robot. In every episode is the bigger, badder robot. So first he gets a little robot, and then he gets another robot, and the way they get better is they mash the two together to make, because one is named Gurren and one is named Lagann.
Uh-huh.
So you get Gurren Lagann when they mash them together.
Right.
And then that gets stronger. You know what? After that, it's just insanity. Good. If you want a wild ride, I highly recommend, but I'm not going to be able to do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
So, did either of you watch Symbionic Titan?
I did.
Like an episode. Go ahead. You two, go have at it.
Which one do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about Octus/Newton.
Oh god. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Symbionic Titan is about an alien princess, her bodyguard, and their assistant robot who have to come to Earth because they're fleeing war on their planet. And they end up having to go to high school and try to blend in. Their robot, who is normally named Octus, takes on the name Newton and makes himself a giant nerd in their high school. And he's just real sweet and smart and curious. And, like, despite being a nerd, he ends up dating the head cheerleader. And there's, like, a whole thing where she's like, you're a nerd, I don't want to be seen with you. But also, fuck it, I love you, whatever.
And there's a super not for kids scene when she's trying to get him to do her homework.
Is that a euphemism for something?
Go ahead and look it up.
I mean, literally they meet because he's tutoring her, so.
Yeah.
He is tutoring her, and she is just like, I'm gonna twerk for you to just do it for me. On a kid's show. I actually really like that series. It's by the same creator as Samurai Jack, actually. Gendy Tartakovsky.
I didn't know that.
And I'm really bummed that it got canceled.
Yeah.
But since it has been canceled, did you watch the whole series, Morgan? Or the whole season?
But I haven't seen it since it was coming out.
Okay. Because I'll admit that I cried when he died.
Yeah, I probably did too.
That was a really powerful moment in that show. He comes back. Don't worry, it's fine. Everything's fine.
All right. So, here, I'm going to indulge myself for a moment and talk about Warframe. Now, Morgan has played a little bit of Warframe. Danny has played none of Warframe, much to my chagrin. I will have you play this game with me, Danny. Twill happen.
Luck.
Anyway, so Warframe is a sci-fi shooter video game in which you're piloting a warframe, which is like a biomechanical robot ninja space awesomeness, and that's about it. There's literally nothing else I'm going to tell you about the plot of Warframe, because this has been a really, really unique experience in which you don't get the story of Warframe until about 100 hours into the gameplay. When you do get it, it's amazing. And like, avoiding spoilers for Warframe is so paramount that the entire player base of Warframe doesn't use abilities that you get after that point because they're spoilers. And they won't use those in public arenas. So, Warframe is so goddamn dope. Like, it's amazing. I love it so much. And that experience of playing that 100 hours is integral to how you then feel about the story, because you're 100 hours into this game and you've made assumptions. And that's all I'll say. Warframe. It's fucking awesome. It's free. Go play it, goddammit.
Go play it for 100 hours so that you too can know the story.
Yeah, no, it's worth it. Like, it's 100 hours, but it's a good-ass game. That's it. Like, the thing about Warframe's free-to-play model is pretty standard, except it has, like, really long timers for building your equipment when you do that. But it's also really great for, like, weapons. You get a really good satisfaction of building a new weapon, not only because you waited so long for it, but also because you're then not forced to use it, but encouraged to use it, because there's a mastery system in the game where you level up the weapon as you use it. And so the weapons aren't like in Destiny where you pick up one with better stats and chuck it over your shoulder and pick up another stats and chuck it, and just that constantly. It's when you get a weapon and you like how the weapon works, you keep it because it's good. And there's no like shifting stats between different models of the same weapon. Each weapon is unique. Anyway, that's super fucking
cool.
good game. Like, 100 hours in that game is nothing. I have over 700. Anyway, I am done indulging myself in Warframe. Morgan, would you like to indulge yourself in Borderlands?
Deathtrap is the best. So, in Borderlands 2, one of the classes you can play, she is a DLC, but she's amazing. Her name is Gage, and her special power is that she has a robot named Deathtrap that beats things up for you. And she built him in for a science fair project, and then the plans for her robot were stolen by a classmate who works for Hyperion. So all of the other robots you fight in Borderlands 2 are based on Deathtrap, your robot. And he gets a bunch of different cool abilities, and he's great.
So I'm assuming his name is a play on Claptrap? The more famous robot from
Probably.
Borderlands?
Yep.
Okay.
And the Claptraps are also a thing. And there's, like, Claptrap, who's sort of the one that everyone knows and talks to and who's in all of the games. But there are a lot of different Claptraps. In fact, there's even a DLC for Borderlands 1, Claptrap's Robot Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a DLC for Borderlands the pre-sequel, where you are literally going inside Claptrap's psyche. It is the saddest goddamn thing. Because, I mean, you have spent the last 2 games kicking the shit out of him because he's obnoxious. And then you realize that that has had consequences.
I see. Alright.
Is he sad about it?
He's real fucked up.
I mean, I believe it.
I believe he's also a playable character in the pre-sequel. I don't remember if he's one of the main ones or if you have to buy him separately. But he originally worked for Handsome Jack, and that also does not do good things for your psyche.
No. Mm-hmm. Just ask Bud Stallion.
Yep. Alright. Danny, did you have anything else specific that you wanted to talk about?
I did have a quick aside.
Okay.
So, it's actually another show from the creator of Samurai Jack, but it's Dexter's Lab.
Oh.
Another show with a lot of robots.
Another show with a lot of robots. I remember a specific mech anime episode, yes.
So, there's a couple of mech anime episodes, because there's the one where they parody, like, the Voltron-esque, where it's the 5 becoming 1 with the family. Mm-hmm. There's the one where him and his rival Mandark both have the mech suits and they fight. But there's also one where he builds one for Dee Dee.
Ah.
And that whole episode is a vehicle for them to set up both of those robots sitting on the volcano they're trying to stop from erupting.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends with the locals just going, ha ha ha, big bots.
Oh.
Which is just the best pun of all time.
All right, then.
And that's the end of my story.
Okay. So.
But do you get it, though?
Yes, I get it. Thank you. Dang it.
It's butts.
Yes.
And bots.
Yeah. All right. So I've got some stuff that I definitely want to get out. I know Morgan definitely has some stuff she wants to get out. Do you have anything else important that you wanted to talk about?
The only other one that I feel like I would like to touch on is Terminator, but I don't know if I really have anything profound to fucking say, so
Okay. Give me
short of mentioning it. Yeah. So you guys go ahead, take over. I've been very
No worries.
intrusive.
No, you
Not
haven't.
at all.
So,
So, because I will always gush about Next Wave when I have a chance to gush about Next Wave, there is Aaron Stack, the Machine Man, who is very annoyed by the fleshy ones, and therefore his robot brain needs beer.
yes, that is, I believe, like his catchphrase.
Yes.
My robot brain needs beer.
And he does not like humans. He doesn't really get along with the Next Wave team because he thinks he's better than everyone, and they don't really like that. I'm blanking on... Oh, see, he was created by Jack Kirby for a 2001 A Space Odyssey comic, which I have only ever seen him in Next Wave, so I don't know how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
But he is hilarious. He will organize your sock drawer.
Yes, I also saw another quote by him, which was, I have no guts, but I must puke.
This character sounds amazing.
He is. Have you read Next Wave?
I have not. I'm not even sure what it is.
It's a sort of parody of Marvel, but also canon.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it made by Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a superhero team that's a little off kilter.
Ooh, I might have to look into that.
Yeah.
Written by Warren Ellis, and it was coming out around the same time as Civil War. So one of the covers has like, we're not involved in Civil War, we don't care. Mike Miller licks goats. Mark Miller licks goats.
Yep. But yeah, and Warren Ellis, you probably don't know, Danny, is my favorite comic book author.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I learned a thing.
Yeah, he wrote my favorite comic book, Transmetropolitan, which is Hunter S. Thompson set in a dystopian future.
That actually also sounds very good.
It's fucking awesome. Alright, talk about the Buffy bots, dude.
Yes. Buffy Bot had pretty gross beginnings, but ended up being important. She was originally built as a sex bot for Spike when he first decided he wanted to bang Buffy.
We're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Spike is a vampire. He started out as evil, and he kind of goes back and forth. But eventually they find the Buffy bot. They're all grossed out by it, but Willow keeps it just to mess with the programming. And eventually, when they are dealing with Glory, one of the big bads, they use her as a decoy to distract Glory while the actual Buffy goes and gets things done. And then after Buffy dies, they reprogram her to take the place of the Slayer and serve as Dawn's guardian so that Dawn can stay in Sunnyvale. And so that the underworld doesn't know that Buffy's gone. Because if they think the Slayer's still around, they will be afraid and not fuck things up as much. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. Eventually, they figure it out. She is very funny, and, you know, Willow took out most of the programming about Spike, but every so often, something will slip through. And, like, she trains with Giles not to be a better fighter, but to fight more like a human, which I think was neat. Like, he's trying to remind her how to breathe naturally while fighting, and she goes, like, she's punching, and she goes, and he's like, no, that's not how that works.
I see.
Yeah.
Does she need to breathe?
No, but she needs to look like she's breathing so that they think it's the real Buffy.
Ah.
Okay. And one more, darling.
Have Hogan, who is the drummer for Tupperware Remix Party. He is a ancient cyborg that they found in an iceberg, I think, in the Mesozoic era. His heart needed to be replaced with a drum machine in order to revive him. He likes to murder people, but he keeps perfect time, so they keep him around anyway.
There you go.
I'm so glad that you got around to that, because I was looking at that and I was like, I gotta know more about this guy. I wasn't gonna bring it up if you didn't. I was like, okay, so I got this guy here on the list. What's up with that?
Tupperware Remix Party is a band from Toronto. They were on like Canada's Got Talent or something, and now they work a lot with Ninja Sex Party and all of the associated acts with that.
Yep.
And I mean, they're just an amazing band, but they also have this wacky backstory with time travel and robots, and it's ridiculous, but the music is amazing. So you should listen to them. They're amazing live. If you have a chance to see them live, do it. Yeah, I went to the Ninja Sex Party show last time they were in town, and they opened for them, of course.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my last thing, the last thing on our list here, is Hank Henshaw. In my opinion, the best Superman villain. Fight me. Anyway.
Nerd.
Alright, anyhow. So, otherwise known as the Cyborg Superman. Back when Superman died for the first time. There's a laugh track here. Anyway.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Superman dies?
Yeah.
Many times.
But he's Superman.
Several, yeah.
Should we just magic him back to life?
Sorta. They Kryptonian him back to life. Superman.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. Superman science fiction nonsense. Yeah, so back when Doomsday kills Superman, Hank Henshaw was already sort of around. His origin story is that NASA sent up a spaceship with 4 people on it. Hank Henshaw, his wife, his brother-in-law, and their family friend. I'll cut a long story short, it's a fucking Fantastic Four parody. I don't know if you're familiar with how the Fantastic Four came to be, but it's their origin story. Yeah, it's their origin story, but if it went wrong. The story goes that the radiation guy killed himself by flying into the sun. The metal guy that resulted killed himself by getting into an MRI machine.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. His wife was phased into another dimension. So the thing that happened to Hank is his body started dissolving. And there's a What's up?
So is he supposed to be Dr. Doom, or is he Mr. Fantastic?
No, well, that's the thing, is it's Mr. Fantastic's story, but it's not like what happens. You know, he doesn't get the same superpower from it. So his wife phases into another dimension, and his body is dissolving, and by body dissolving, I mean the flesh part. So there's a really gory scene where it's like the flesh sloughing off his face, and you see the bare skull underneath. But he's somehow able to transfer his consciousness into a LexCorp computer, and is thereby able to manipulate machines. Right? With me so far?
Okay. Yep.
This is a comic book storyline. It's kind of convoluted.
So he's non-AI AI?
Yes, he's non-AI. Yes. He is non-AI AI. So he manipulates machines by...
Or just non-A.
Yeah, and I don't mean he can, like, move machines. He can, like, manipulate them as in turn them into other things as well.
What?
Yeah. It's weird.
Okay.
But he's super strong and shit. So Superman was trying to help all of them, right? But...
Like he does.
Yeah, and so he eventually is able to save Hank Henshaw's wife from the other dimension. Unfortunately, when Henshaw, like, draws himself out of the computer into a form, it's somewhat skeletal, and it freaks his wife the fuck out. So he's, like, in a skeletal cyborg robot body at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so his wife freaks the fuck out, and she jumps off the balcony of their house and dies.
Jeez.
So...
A lot of suicides in this one.
Yeah, no, his origin story is super fucking fucked up. Anyhow, he somehow transfers part of his consciousness into the pod that brought Superman to Earth, and uses the Kryptonian technology to make himself into a spaceship and shoots himself into outer space. Alright? Still with me?
Okay. Still following you.
Still following?
We're still on the origins, right?
Yeah, we're still on the origins. Yeah. It's fucking convoluted, isn't it? So while he's in space, he runs into a bunch of alien races and learns about their histories and things. But while he's up there, he starts getting paranoid and delusional and starts blaming Superman for the death of his family and friends and starts plotting against Superman.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Yeah, when you're in space.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So, long story short, after Superman dies, he comes back down and disguises himself as a cyborg Superman. And because he used the Kryptonian technology of Superman's ship, like they find Kryptonian alloys in his makeup and they find Superman's DNA. I forget exactly how he's able to replicate that, but it's comic books, who cares?
Probably like skin dander or some bullcrap.
Yeah, some bullcrap like that. But anyway, so everybody buys that he's Superman. And then he decides to ruin Superman's reputation by blowing a city up. And so he does that. And that's the thing that happens.
Does he kill Superman?
No, Doomsday is the one who killed Superman. The Reign of the Superman arc is where he comes into like being a supervillain, and that's when Superman comes back to life for the first time. So
oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So he was trying to be Superman when Superman was dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Superman comes back to life. He's eventually defeated but not destroyed because he can transfer his intelligence into anything metal, basically, at this point. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about him. Like, he teams up with Mongol and blows up Coast City, which leads to the Parallax storyline and Green Lantern and all this other shit. It's fucking comic books, man. But Hank Henshaw has one of the best tragic fucking... I love so much that it's a parody of the Fantastic Four. It's so crazy.
Which is owned by their rivals.
Yeah, no, these two...
That was like shots fired.
Yeah, those two companies are constantly doing that, though. They're going back and forth like that. Well, I mean, we've got tons of stuff on this list that we didn't hit on. We didn't talk about Terminator. We didn't talk about Maria from Metropolis. We didn't talk about Gort from The Day That Earth Stood Still.
We didn't talk about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Didn't talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. Didn't talk about Chrono Trigger. You know, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff for robots.
It's funny that you mentioned Gort from The Day That Earth Stood Still because I was looking at Gordy's, which is clearly a reference to that.
Yes. Yeah. So, regardless of that, if there's one thing that we did discuss that you had to recommend, Danny, what would you recommend people go check out?
Ooh. One thing?
One thing? You can cheat. I don't care.
I think I gotta go with Samurai Jack.
Back to the past, back to the back, Samurai.
It's just so good.
Jack.
Or Venture Brothers.
Everybody always recommends Venture Brothers. Recommend Samurai Jack.
Well, that just means it's really good.
It is, yeah.
But Samurai Jack is also really good.
Yes.
Especially the way they handled the final season.
Mm-hmm. Long ago in a distant land. Anyway, Morgan, recommendation.
I believe I've already done Next Wave as my recommendation, although I don't know what order you're going to do these in.
I don't care.
Okay, cool. So, failing that, listen to Tupperware Remix Party.
Alright, cool. I'm not going to tell you to backtrack and read a bunch of fucking old-ass Superman comics. So I'm going to tell people to go watch The Iron Giant if you haven't seen it. It's fucking classic.
It is good.
It is. Alright, well, if that's everything, thanks everybody so much for listening. Take care.
Good night.
I'll be back.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us at fightmenerdpodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter at fmnerdpodcast.